Thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country.
President Trump signed an executive order which said that when you are born on U.S. soil, the only way you are granted automatic citizenship is if one of your parents is a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident. Now, currently, under the Constitution, as long as you are born on U.S. soil, you are automatically a U.S. citizen. The citizenship status of your parents is irrelevant. So Trump's order was challenged in the courts. And what the district court judge did is he said, okay, while I'm considering the merits of the case, while I'm considering whether this order is constitutional or unconstitutional, I am going to prohibit the administration from enforcing this order nationwide.
Okay, so the question is, we can talk about what she said and what Trump stated, but should birthright citizenship be abolished? Should it be? You got to go ahead, Kelly. Can't hear your audio.
Oh, absolutely. It should be abolished. We don't have slavery anymore. It was for the 14th Amendment was for the children or babies of slaves. We don't have that anymore. It 100% should be abolished. So we don't have any more anchor babies.
Huh? Does anybody disagree? So do you think that the people that got citizenship because of the birthright, should they go back? Should the kids go back? Or should they be able to stay?
Well, if they want to be apart, if they don't want to be apart from their families, like they're saying that we're doing, I mean, why not? Like, they're saying that Trump is ripping families apart. Stay with your family. I mean, it would make sense to me. So
I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be mad at it, but I could see how it could pose a problem because basically it would be them being born here gave them the citizenship. So it would kind of be like something like retroactive. I'm not saying it right, but personally, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I can understand the ethical problem, I guess, because you could be 20 years old, you could be, 60 and then have to go home, but technically you were an American citizen because you were born here. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think it underscores a larger problem that's been a loophole for a long time. It's a couple different things that this speaks to. First of all, it also shows the hypocrisy of Democrats and that they've basically given this country over to people that's not even from here, to people that are undocumented and they came here to finesse the system. For a long time, Asian people have crossed over into the border pregnant and they had babies on this soil under the guise that they were actually just visiting so that their children can have dual citizenship. You also had situations where a lot of people come over here undocumented and hurry up and have babies so that they can then take advantage of our taxpayer dollars. You had people that was basically exploiting a loophole, and the only reason that they've left it open this long is so that they can continue to have people entitled and then endeared to the Democrat Party, which they'll then feel like they owed something because you see a lot of people advocating for people that is not supposed to be here and they're over here illegally. And so in addition to that, you also had Trump, which is not being reported, which is not being talked about amongst Black people. It's not being talked about amongst Black people worldwide, because even if you set aside for 1 second the whole idea behind American descendants of slaves versus Black people that may be immigrants that came over from other countries, one of the things that he's doing is he's saying, go back to your own country and also let me be an anchor of peace for your whole country, in which he brokered a peace deal between Rwanda and the Congo, right? So nobody talks about that shit. Nobody talks about the fact that you don't have mass genocide happening in traditionally Black countries where people are now able to go back to their countries, or they don't have to worry about getting killed when they go outside, or a war between two places like Rwanda and the Congo. And so as he's being thanked, and he's being nominated, or they're saying that they want to nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize because of the fact that he's advocating for peace across multiple different countries, including countries that nobody cared about. Everybody is sitting there. You know, I seen black people saying that they stand with Iran. I seen black people having so much to say about Ukraine and Russia, but they don't have anything to say. Nobody is saying anything about Rwanda. Nobody is saying anything about the Congo. Nobody is saying anything about Sudan. Nobody is saying anything about these places that's largely having peace, unprecedented peace to which they haven't had in a long time, but then they want to still say that Trump is racist. So the fact that he is acknowledging black people inside of the United States of America while not letting people take advantage of something that was created for black people speaks to, in my opinion, the things that he's doing more for black people than any other president / vice president that came before him. You had Kamala Harris, who never did anything except for go over to these other countries to advocate for the alphabet community, which that's not a part of their culture. You had Barack Obama, who his lasting legacy was basically the alphabet community here in the United States of America. But yet everybody want to have something to say about Trump. You got record low inflation, opportunity for jobs. The stock market is fucking booming. You got a trade deal now with China and the EU and one pending with the UK. You got promises made and promises delivered, but yet black people are still on the Democratic plantation talking about fucking Kamala Harris. Y'all don't even know where she at. Y'all don't even know where she at. So, you know, for me personally, I think it should have been abolished a long time ago. But see, you don't hear that from the Jasmine Crockett's. You don't hear that from, you know, any of these liberals. Roland Martin not gonna have no conversation about that because the only thing that they do, the D.L. Hughley's, the only thing they want to say is Trump is racist, but they have no proof of it at all whatsoever.
And they advocate for the illegals too, Jasmine Crockett.
100%.
Mhm.
So they do things that actually destroy
Undercut
black
us.
communities. They advocating for the things that destroy black communities, but because they're not overtly saying that they don't necessarily rock with black people, all of a sudden they still y'all people.
So Anton, the people that got their citizenship regarding birthright, you think they should go back too?
I think that's a difficult thing to grant somebody citizenship and to make them legal since they were born, and then to revoke the legal status. I don't think that you can do that. But the thing that I'm more concerned with is if they close the loophole to prevent anybody from doing it in the future. I don't think that that's. I can't advocate for that.
And
I
border
feel
crossing
like
are
that's
down to
fair.
zero.
Now, if you had temporary protective status, that's much different than being granted legal citizenship. Trump is not saying that he's getting rid of people that's already a legal citizen. What he is saying is that if you got a green card, be on your fucking best behavior. If you had temporary protective status, like all of these Haitians, time to go back to your country. And it's funny because people over in Haiti don't even want their own people back. They saying, no, y'all stay over there, don't come over here, you're gonna fuck up what we got going on over here. Venezuela, when all of those illegal migrants was let out of jail, they had a crazy level of peace because they sent all of the motherfuckers over here that was doing the wrong shit.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to go as far as to say that people that were already granted legal status here or legal citizenship that they should be deported also. But I think that their parents should because their parents was the ones that violated. And if they want to be with their parents, then they can go back with them. Otherwise, then be on your best behavior here.
Anybody disagree? Nobody got birthright friends? Any of your friends say anything about this topic or anything?
They gotta go home, girl. They got to get to stepping.
No, I can't say that. I don't think that if somebody from the time that they open up their eyes that they were legal, even if it was a loophole, that you need to revert back to that. I don't think that should play. But I think closing the loophole is ideal. That and what it does is it removes the incentive for people to come over here and have babies just to think that they're gonna be granted legal citizenship.
True.
That's the only problem I have. Like making sure you come over here and have sex and get pregnant, or to make sure you come over here and you almost do to have a baby to protect that baby, and then want that baby's birth to also protect your status in a country that don't belong to you. I think we need to take that away because when you think about that, that's not an action you would do because you want to assimilate with another country and adapt to, Western culture and all of that. It's that you see a crack in the system and you want to take advantage of it, especially looking at why that's there in the first place, birthright citizenship. Yeah, I think we gotta close it. And yeah, if there are babies being born or children that were already born, I think they need to go back with their parents. You shouldn't separate families. So I just feel like the children are gonna suffer the sins and the consequences of their parents. So
Why shouldn't we separate them? I don't understand that part.
Separate them.
Because if I'm an illegal and I know that I'm trying to manipulate a system and take advantage of it, I know that if I get caught, what would happen to me if I was in another country, in South
Right.
Korea, in Japan?
Right.
So why do I feel so comfortable about doing this in America? Because they've already had
No. I understand that part. I'm saying, why shouldn't we separate them? I don't understand that part.
Separate who?
Families.
No, look at America now with the families being separated. That hasn't helped nothing.
No.
I mean,
I'm talking about
separate
the
commit a
the illegal migrants that's over here. If one of them is legal and the other one isn't, then you deport the one that. What the argument from people is that you shouldn't deport one person because the other person is legal, right? That's what they're basically saying.
So
And so
if the
there's
child is
no
legal and the mama
separation.
isn't, is that what you're saying?
Correct. So let's assume, for example,
get separated being
correct.
in the United States anyway. Like we get separated if our father.
You go to prison. You join the service.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, if somebody is illegal, they gotta go. If you concerned about your parents, you can go with them, but they still gotta go. The argument from most people is that there is no separation of families because they're here illegally, and then another part of the family is here legally. And so we want to make sure that we keep the family together. And so the person that's here illegally still should be.
Well, Anton, I would ask if the action to do something illegal and something came about that illegal activity, shouldn't the child that is procreated after that activity that would be a reflection and a response?
Because there's a lot of anchor babies that's above the age of 18, for example, right? I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about
Adults.
You 18, 19 years old, your mama was illegal. She finally get caught up. She got to fucking go.
Yeah, don't that make it worse? Because that means it's been going on this long. You got to almost live a full life on an action that was unlawful.
That's not our problem. That's not our
Right.
problem. That's not our problem. If you escape from jail and you've been free for a long time, and then they catch you 5 years later, should you still be forced to do the sentence after you escape from jail just because you changed your name and you live a different lifestyle?
Of course.
Yes.
How is it any different?
No, I'm not saying anything against it. I'm saying that, I think that the children, that's the price that you pay. Why purposely have children so you can stay somewhere? And if you get away with it for a long time, and now we have administration that's like, well, no, if we don't do nothing about this, we're sending a message that it's okay, and it's not. So you have to go back.
Yeah, you're saying the anchor babies need to go too. Yeah, right.
But I can also
understand.
If they under a certain age, then they need to go with their parents. 100%.
Why under a certain age though? So there's no repercussions for the adults now?
If you are anchor, because the anchor baby thing has been in existence for way longer than Trump has been in office, is my point.
True.
And so if you were born here and you took advantage of the loophole previously, I'm not sure that it makes sense for them to say, oh, wait a minute, but you got to go.
Did y'all see that Jamaican guy that got deported? And black people are supposed to care?
Why you got to bring up a Jamaican, man?
Because he was Jamaican. He was Jamaican.
Kill. This is a setup. Let me say that.
You
This
Caribbean,
is a setup.
Alex? You Caribbean?
He was Jamaican. He got deported to Jamaica, even though he had never been to Jamaica. But he was Jamaican because his father.
Jamaican. I saw that on Twitter.
Yes, his father was Jamaican and his mother was Kenyan. His father was in the service and had became an American citizen while in the service. I don't know what the status of his mother was, but he got deported And Jamel Hill said, "This is why I say foundational Black Americans should care." And I'm like, I don't give a damn, because he's not Black American. I can't get deported.
Wait,
And
why did
again, why didn't he get his
So he had never
citizenship?
been. He
He had never
to.
been to Jamaica. So
Where was
his
he born,
father,
though?
what was that?
Where was he born? Because you did say he was a military.
He was
base.
born on he was born on a base. He was born on a base in Germany. And they were trying to say, because him being born on a base in Germany did not count as
But
American, to make him an anchor baby, basically,
Right.
because neither one of his parents,
no,
when
his
he
father
was
was a nationalized citizen.
his father got citizenship in the 18 years while he was in service. So the father got citizenship, but the son didn't get the citizenship. Like the
But
father was
because
all the way
father-
grown.
So because the father is a nationalized citizen, that doesn't make his son a nationalized citizen, even when he's born on an American base.
He wasn't a
No, it
naturalized
wasn't.
citizen when he was conceived and born. He wasn't a citizen then.
Correct. It wasn't an American base. Germany is not American.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and on Germany. Okay.
Yeah, he was born on the base, on the German.
In Germany. He was born in Germany.
He was born in Germany on an American base. Okay, you get what I'm saying?
It's still in
I got
Germany.
you. That's what I got confused. I knew. Right.
He was
In America, like, I still think you should look at it like, what if like 100 illegal women say, let's all get pregnant, and then they drop their babies off here? You're like importing voters with your vagina. Like, no, I don't think you should do that. It's like planting spies. That's why I think the action, because it's like, that's smart. Like, no, if you're gonna procreate purposely with the intent to, infiltrate and not to assimilate, you and your children have to go. And even if you get to stay here and get away with it for so long, because I believe Democrats were running things for like 10 years, a decade or something like that. So it's like you're getting away with something, and then you think because I'm getting away with it for so long, it must be right. So we can't keep letting people think wrong is right, because we're gonna get you in line and we're gonna get you up out of here. And you can come back the right way, like the administration said. So if you don't want to do it that way, then you don't want to come over here to be an American and live the American dream. You want to come make your culture that you deem effed up. Why would you want to come bring it over here? This is the land of the free. Don't do that. So that's all I got to say.
All right. Cool.
Alex, do you agree?
Somewhat, So like the situation with the guy in Germany, listen, man, it sounds unfortunate more than anything else. This don't sound like no targeted attack. This sounds like a coincidence upon one,
I don't think it was
and
targeted.
I'm not no
I agree.
optimist,
Yeah, I don't think it was targeted.
Yeah.
He's like technically German, technically.
I don't even think that I don't care. Anyways, but in regards to culture and transitioning to America, like listen, I came to the States like 2016, and I have to embrace the mind frame, live the American dream, work at Home Depot, work at theme parks during the summer in Orlando, join the Navy, serve the country, got my citizenship.
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Go ahead and got my home, and I got on to Anton, and this dude said I need to go back to my country and make it great. So I'm in Jamaica right now. So
Making
I
it
think
great.
people trying to. I think people can come to America, embrace the culture, and elevate themselves, and also strengthen, enrich, and empower their country. It's how we go about it. I agree with Mr. Trump. People abuse the system. People abuse the system. We are aware of that in all facets. When it comes to welfare, mistakes in legislation, people do. And we, as God-fearing, trying to be righteous people, have to enforce the right thing. If we don't enforce the right thing, the bad will prevail like weeds in the grass. And I try to take care of lawns, man. You got to stick to it. So that's my thought.
Okay, I just wanted to say really quick, because the chat says I'm wrong. I am right. it says children born on U.S. military bases overseas do not get automatic citizenship, but they typically acquire citizenship through their parents if eligibility requirements are met and proper paperwork is filed. So like I said, the father, he didn't get his citizenship until later down the road. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Right. Right. I'm actually familiar with that type of process where um someone that I know was born in Germany as well on an American base, but both of the parents were already American citizens. They weren't born in another country. So that's why it's like there is a difference. Like, you know, the child will still get dual citizenship, but it won't be where like, oh, if both of the parents are from different countries or different areas, they're not going to automatically just become citizens just because they have a child on an American base.